Welcome to my channel. This video is for a mini mum backer. Please join my YouTube family by subscribing and tapping the bell for notifications on my uploads and live streams. I'm cutting ribbons to make loops, so I've cut them all at 5 inches in length. I'm cutting 4 of each style and size. My backer is just under 4 inches in diameter. First, I'm going to take my 1.3 inch width acetate, the white one, and then I'm taking my 5/8 inch width glitter ribbon and layering them and just forming a loop. And I'm just centering up that green glitter ribbon so it's right in the middle. You can go ahead and staple these if you need to, if you're afraid they're going to come undone before you attach them to the backer. So I just start and I place it in the northern part of the backer, and I'm just making sure that it's even and straight. What I'm doing here with my scissors is I'm lining up my scissors in the middle of the hole of the backer and in the middle of the loop. So if I've got it lined up so the scissors are evenly in the center of that hole, in the center of the loop, then I know that it's nice and straight. So now I move on to the opposite side, so that's why I say I do these in a north, south, east, and west fashion. So now I'm moving on to the east and west, and just keep lining those loops up, and try to center them up pretty evenly. You don't want them all like one side over too far unless you're doing that on purpose, but make sure you do all of them that way. And I just try to center those up and make sure that you're putting your loops not just straight and even, but how far out or in on the backer you're attaching them. Try to make sure that they're even that direction as well. I usually staple these 2 times each. That just makes me feel more secure. If you have a mat like this, you can put your backer down and see if you're attaching your loops fairly even and straight by using all the lines on the mat. Now I'm attaching these loops with the green acetate and the green and white gingham, and I'm just attaching them in between the white and green glitter. So I'm just layering these 2 ribbons exactly the same way and just attaching them evenly between. Use the loops that are already attached as your guide on how far in and out to attach them and how to attach them in between. So it's real easy once you get the first 4 on there to attach the next 4. Now I've got this Deco mesh flex tubing, and I'm just going to make some loops, and I'm just forming not a certain size. I'm just using how I've got these loops attached. I'm using that as a guide. I don't want to go out further than the loops, so I'm using that as my guide. So I can't tell you how big they are. You'll just have to attach your own and then use it as a guide yourself, because even if I told you how big they were, if you attached your loops on in further or out further, then they wouldn't match up. So just use your loops that you have attached as a guide. Now you can go ahead and wrap these in chenille stems to hold the loops in place and then staple or glue them on, because it's a lot more difficult to do it this way, to hold it in place and then staple them. And you do want to get a few staples in it to make sure none of the loops come undone. So now I'm using the 2 loops that I just attached as a guide for the next 2 loops. And I'm going around the backer and attaching it in 4 places. So I'm doing these 2 loops in 4 places on this backer. And if you're wondering what I'm talking about with the chenille stems and this tubing, I have shown that technique in previous backer tutorials. So you'll just have to look through my tutorials where I use Deco mesh tubing on the backers, because just about every time I use some kind of different technique. So really just watch those videos and see which techniques you like best. Now I'm attaching the last 2 loops. And I really had to attach something else besides the 8 loops that I attached, because you could see the backer just a little bit between each loop. So you either need to do another layer of loops in between each of them, or something like this with the tubing, or I'm fixing to start with the tinsel too. Now in between the 4 loops, I need to still fill in some space, because I only did the tubing in 4 places, so that still leaves 4 places. So now I'm doing this green tinsel, And I'm really excited about these tinsels. My husband actually found them after Christmas, and I got blue, red, and green. I think that was all the colors, and gold. But I'm really excited about them because I did a lot of green and blue mums last year, so I'm excited that I'll be able to use that this year. And here it is with the tinsel. I think this turned out super cute. And again, this is a mini. It's much smaller, so it's going to be for a very small homecoming mom. Thanks so much for watching, everyone. Don't forget to share and subscribe and tap that bell. Comment, and please be kind with your comments, and I will get back to you and answer your questions. Thanks so much for watching. Happy mom making, everyone.